This tree is huge. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that.
Canada is a land of jaw-dropping wonders, from vast forests to sparkling lakes. It's the second largest country, covering 3.85 million square miles, with more lakes than the rest of the world combined. Its people speak English, French, and over 70 indigenous languages, creating a vibrant cultural mix. Yet Canada hides surprises like ice hotels that melt each spring and underground cities that defy winter's chill. In this video, we'll show you 15 mind-blowing facts that make Canada truly unique. From quirky traditions to stunning innovations, each fact will amaze you. So let's explore why Canada stands out globally. Number 15. A Culinary Odyssey. Canada's food scene is a delicious adventure that blends nature and tradition. Start with poutine, Quebec's famous dish of crispy fries, topped with rich gravy and squeaky cheese curds. Over 1.5 million plates are served yearly in Montreal alone, making it a cultural icon. Then there's maple syrup, tapped from 10 million trees across Quebec, producing 70% of the world's supply. Locals pour hot syrup on snow for maple taffy, a sweet treat that draws 500,000 tourists to sugar shacks each spring. Don't miss tourtière, a savory meat pie rooted in French-Canadian Christmas traditions, with 80,000 sold in Quebec during December. On the West Coast, indigenous communities perfect cedar plank salmon, grilled over open fires for a smoky flavor, served at 90% of British Columbia's coastal restaurants. These dishes tell Canada's story, from indigenous roots to settler influences, each bite bursting with history. Whether it's poutine's gooey comfort or taffy's sticky sweetness, Canada's cuisine surprises with every flavor. Next, let's uncover a practical side of Canada that might shock you with its affordability. Number 14. The cost of living in Canada. Canada's cost of living is surprisingly affordable compared to other top countries. In 2025, a single person needs about $2,800 monthly to live comfortably in cities like Calgary or Edmonton, while a family of 4 requires around $6,500. Housing takes the biggest chunk, with one-bedroom apartments averaging $1,200 in city centers like Montreal, but only $900 in suburbs. Groceries cost about $350 per person monthly, with staples like bread at $2.50 and chicken at $5 per pound. Public transit passes range from $100 to $150, cheaper than gas at $6 per gallon. Utilities, including electricity and internet, run $200 monthly for a small apartment. Healthcare is a steal, with public insurance covering most visits, unlike the US, where premiums hit $7,900 yearly. Canada's cost of living is 7% lower than the US and 41% cheaper than New York City per Numbeo data. Smaller cities like Winnipeg offer even better deals, with rents as low as $800. This balance of quality and cost makes Canada a dream for many. Now get ready to discover how Canada celebrates its seasons with unforgettable festivals. Number 13. A festival for every season. Canada's festival calendar bursts with life all year round, turning every season into a celebration. In winter, Quebec's Carnaval de Québec, the world's largest winter festival, draws 200,000 visitors from late January to mid-February. Snow sculptures tower over streets, and brave racers speed across the frozen St. Lawrence River in canoe races, a tradition since 1955. Come summer, Montreal's International Jazz Festival takes over, holding the Guinness World Record for the biggest jazz event, with 2 million attendees enjoying 350 free outdoor shows from June 26th to July 5th, 2025. Fall brings Nova Scotia's Celtic colors, where 50,000 visitors flock to Cape Breton Island for 50 concerts, of bagpipe and fiddle music amid vibrant autumn foliage. Spring welcomes Ottawa's Canadian Tulip Festival, showcasing 1 million tulips and attracting 650,000 visitors over 11 days in May. These events weave Canada's cultural tapestry, from French roots to indigenous traditions, making every visit a party. Next, let's dive into a hidden city beneath Toronto's streets that'll leave you amazed. Number 12. Toronto's underground Labyrinth. Beneath Toronto's bustling streets lies Path, a 19-mile underground network holding the Guinness World Record as the largest underground shopping complex. Built in 1900 and expanded over decades, it connects 75 buildings, including skyscrapers, hotels, and subway stations, with 1,200 stores, cafes, and even spas. Over 200,000 people navigate Path daily, dodging Canada's harsh winters, where temperatures drop to -20 degrees Fahrenheit. Color-coded signs, yellow for south, red for north, guide the crowds through this maze, which spans 4 million square feet. You could shop, eat, and work without stepping outside for days. Owned by a mix of private and public groups, Path runs like clockwork, a hidden city pulsing below Toronto. In 2024, it saw $1.5 billion in retail sales, per city reports. This urban marvel blends practicality with wonder, making Toronto a city of secrets. Now brace yourself for a chilling Canadian tradition that'll make your heart race. Number 11. The Polar Bear Plunge. Every January 1st, thousands across Canada dive into icy waters for the Polar Bear Plunge, a thrilling New Year's tradition. In 2025, over 2,000 braved 35 degrees Fahrenheit Lake Ontario in Oakville, raising $100,000 for World Vision Canada's clean water projects in Congo and Zambia. Vancouver's English Bay saw 8,683 participants in 2024, marking its 105th year since 1920, with a 100-yard swim race and costumes from superheroes to coffee cups. White Rock's 55th plunge drew 3,000, offering certificates and hot chocolate by donation. Started in 1986 by the Courage Brothers in Oakville, the event blends charity and fun, with 400 plungers in Thunder Bay, raising $166,000 in 2024 for local causes like Special Olympics. The chilly dip, often at 2 degrees Celsius, boosts energy and community spirit, with kids like 8-year-old Evelyn Gray joining in. It's a bold way to start the year, celebrated from Halifax to Summerside. Now let's explore a Canadian innovation that saves wildlife and inspires the world. Number 10. Wildlife Bridges, a model of harmony. In Banff National Park, Canada's wildlife bridges save lives and connect habitats. Since 1996, 44 crossing structures, 6 overpasses, and 38 underpasses span 88 kilometers of the Trans-Canada Highway. Fencing guides animals like grizzly bears, elk, and wolves to these safe passages, cutting wildlife vehicle collisions by 80% and by 96% for elk and deer, per Parks Canada. Over 250,000 crossings have been recorded by motion-triggered cameras, with grizzlies taking 5 years to adapt, now using them to find mates and maintain genetic diversity. Each overpass, costing $2 to $4 million, is covered with native plants, blending into the Rockies landscape. Smaller tunnels help turtles and salamanders, with 17 more crossings planned near Lake Louise later this year. This project, started in 1978, inspires global efforts, from Australia's crab bridges to Costa Rica's jaguar crossings. Banff's model proves humans and wildlife can coexist. Now let's discover Canada's stunning destinations that draw millions to its natural wonders. Number 9. Canada's Vacation Jewels. Canada's landscapes dazzle with must-see spots that draw 27.2 million visitors yearly. Banff National Park in Alberta, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, boasts turquoise Lake Louise and Moraine Lake, surrounded by glacier-capped Rockies. Over 4 million tourists hike or ski here annually, with the Fairmont Banff Springs hosting 500,000 guests since 1888. Quebec City, a Little Paris, charms with its 400-year-old cobblestone streets and Chateau Frontenac, welcoming 4.5 million visitors each year. Churchill, Manitoba, the polar bear capital, sees 10,000 tourists spotting 1,000 bears and northern lights from October to November. Vancouver Island's Butchart Gardens bloom with 900,000 flowers, attracting 1 million visitors for its tea and fireworks. Niagara Falls, Ontario, stuns with 14 million annual visitors riding the Hornblower boat through its misty roar. These jewels blend nature and history, making Canada a global draw. Now let's head to a city where culture and charm pulse like a heartbeat. Number 8. Ottawa, the heartbeat of a capital. Ottawa, Canada's capital since 1857, pulses with life beyond its political core. Home to 1.02 million people in 2021, it sits where the Ottawa and Rideau rivers meet, a trade hub since the Algonquin First Nation called it home. Queen Victoria chose Ottawa for its spot between Montreal and Toronto, avoiding English-French tensions. Today, Parliament Hill's Gothic towers host Canada's government, drawing 3 million visitors yearly. The Rideau Canal, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, transforms into the world's largest skating rink, stretching 7.8 kilometers and welcoming 1.5 million skaters each winter. Byward Market buzzes with 600 vendors selling fresh maple treats and crafts, while 300 kilometers of bike paths connect neighborhoods like the Glebes historic homes. Ottawa's 50% bilingual population speaks English and French, reflecting its cultural bridge between Ontario and Quebec. Local chefs, trained at Le Cordon Bleu's only North American campus, elevate its food scene with 6 eateries on Canada's 100 Best Restaurants list in 2024. Ottawa blends history, nature, and modern charm. Now, let's visit a city where one day a year turns chaos into community magic. Loving this video so far? Give it a like and drop a comment with your thoughts. Your feedback keeps us going. Stay tuned for more amazing Canadian facts. Number 7. Montreal's Moving Day Madness. On July 1st, Montreal transforms into a whirlwind of moving vans and packed boxes as 200,000 residents, 10% of the city's 2 million people, relocate on a single day. Known as Moving Day, this tradition, rooted in a 1750 French colonial rule to prevent winter evictions, aligns with Canada Day, turning streets into a chaotic parade. In 2024, 80% of Quebec's leases ended on June 30th, with 75% of Montrealers renting rather than owning, per the Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation. Movers haul appliances up iconic spiral staircases, as most apartments lack built-in fridges, adding to the frenzy. Over 500,000 pizzas are devoured, with pizzerias like Pendelli's selling 2,000 pies, 5 times their usual daily sales. The city schedules extra garbage pickups for 10,000 tons of discarded furniture, while the Montreal SPCA reports a 300% spike in pet abandonments, urging renters to find pet-friendly homes. Moving trucks costing $200 to $600 are booked months in advance, and green movers use bike trailers to navigate narrow streets. This mix of community spirit and logistical chaos defines Montreal's unique rhythm. Now let's meet a people whose vibrant culture weaves together Canada's diverse roots. Number 6. The Matei, a nation of blended heritage. The Matei, a distinct Canadian people, emerged in the 1700s from marriages between European fur traders and indigenous women, mainly Cree and Ojibwe, in the prairies. Recognized as one of Canada's 3 indigenous groups, they number 587,545 per the 2021 census, with 70% in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. Their language, Michif, mixes French nouns with Cree verbs, spoken by fewer than 1,000 today, making it one of the world's rarest. At festivals like Back to Batoche Days, attended by 5,000 annually, Métis dancers perform the Red River Jig, a lively step blending Scottish reels and indigenous rhythms. Their colorful sashes, woven by hand, sell for $150 each and double as tools for carrying supplies. Métis Red River frame houses, built with notched logs and mud walls, were often mobile, with 10% featuring wheels in the 1800s, per historical records. These homes, still seen in museums, reflect a practical yet artistic culture. The Métis flag, a blue infinity symbol, represents their enduring spirit. Their story weaves Canada's past into its present. Now let's sip on a tradition that fuels Canada's daily life with warmth and connection. Number 5. Coffee is a national ritual. Canada runs on coffee, with Tim Hortons at its heart. This chain, founded in 1964 by hockey legend Tim Horton, operates 4,846 locations across Canada, serving 2 million customers daily. Canadians drink 3.5 cups per person each day, ranking the country 9th globally for coffee consumption, per 2024 Statista data. A medium double-double, coffee with 2 creams and 2 sugars, costs just $2.15, making Timmy's a daily stop for 15% of Canadians, according to a 2023 survey. The Roll Up the Rim contest started in 1986, awards prizes like cars and free coffee, with 1.8 million winners in 2024. In small towns like Moncton, New Brunswick, Tim Hortons doubles as a community hub where locals swap stories over $1.50 maple glazed donuts. Late-night cafes in Toronto serve cold brew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., fueling 20% of urban night owls per local reports. This coffee obsession binds Canada's diverse regions, from snowy prairies to coastal cities. Now let's uncover a sparkling creation built from everyday trash that'll amaze you. Number 4. The Bottle Chapel's shimmering legacy. In 1979, Edouard Arsenault, a retired lighthouse keeper in Cap Egmont, Prince Edward Island, turned a postcard's inspiration into a dazzling reality. He built a chapel using 10,000 recycled glass bottles, soda, wine, and beer, cemented together, creating a glowing sanctuary that sparkles at sunset. Part of a trio of structures with a house and tavern, the chapel, completed in 1983, measures 20 by 14 feet and features pews and an altar framed by colorful glass. Over 30,000 visitors flock annually to this site, paying $8 for entry, with proceeds supporting upkeep, per the Bottle House's website. The surrounding Acadian gardens, planted by Arsenault, bloom with 500 perennials, enhancing the chapel's fairy tale charm. Rebuilt from 1992 to 1998 due to harsh winters, the chapel stands as a symbol of sustainability, reducing landfill waste by reusing 25,000 bottles across the village. Its light-filled walls create a serene glow, drawing couples for weddings. Arsenault's legacy lives through his daughter, Réjeanne, who maintains this masterpiece. Now let's meet the bold women who shape Canada's vibrant culture with their strength and warmth. Number 3. The spirit of Canadian women. Canadian women shine with confidence and drive, shaping the nation's heart. In 2021, 65% of women aged 25 to 64 held a college degree, one of the highest rates globally per Statistics Canada. They lead in fields like medicine, with 43% of doctors being women, and tech, where 28% of startups in Toronto have female founders, according to a 2023 report. Their boldness stands out in cities like Vancouver, where women often greet strangers with a smile and offer to share a $5 craft beer at local pubs. Rooted in Canada's push for equality since the 1982 Charter of Rights, women like astronaut Roberta Bondar, who flew in 1992, inspire millions. In rural areas, 70% of women participate in community events like Alberta's rodeos, blending strength with warmth. Their athletic builds, honed by hiking trails or hockey rinks, match their open-minded spirit, welcoming 30% of international students at universities like McGill. Canadian women weave ambition and kindness into everyday life. Now let's step into a frozen wonder that vanishes each spring. Number 2, the Ephemeral Ice Palace. North America's only ice hotel, the Hôtel de Glace in Saint-Gabriel-de-Valcartier, Quebec, is a frozen marvel reborn each winter. Since 2001, 50 artisans have sculpted 500 tons of ice and 35,000 tons of snow into a 3,000 square meter masterpiece, open from January to mid-March. In 2025, the theme Back to the Origins honors Quebec's 11 indigenous nations, with ice carvings of earth, water, air, and fire per Quebec City tourism. The Grand Hall, Chapel, and 30 themed suites, some with fireplaces, dazzle 70,000 visitors yearly. Ice beds, cushioned with pelts and sleeping bags, rated to minus 30 degrees Celsius, cost $449 per night, including a backup room at Hotel Valcartier. The ice bar serves 10,000 cocktails in ice glasses annually, while 20 weddings take place in the chapel per TripAdvisor reviews. Built in 6 weeks using metal frames and snice, snow ice mix, the hotel melts by spring, leaving no trace. Its Nordic hot tubs and 35 snow slides at Valcartier add thrill. This fleeting palace blends art and adventure. Now let's discover the vast land that makes Canada a global wonder. Number 1, the land of maple leaves. Canada, the world's second largest country, spans 9.98 million square kilometers, stretching from the Atlantic's salty shores to the Pacific's gentle waves and up to the Arctic's icy tundra. It holds 2.1 million freshwater lakes, over 60% of the global total, with Lake Superior alone covering 82,100 square kilometers per Natural Resources Canada. In 2025, 41.9 million people call Canada home, with 48% under 40, fueled by immigration, according to Statistics Canada. The population speaks English, French, and 87 indigenous languages like Inuktitut and Cree, preserving ancient cultures. The 11-pointed red maple leaf flag, adopted in 1965, symbolizes unity, seen on 80% of public buildings per government surveys. Canada's climate swings from southern Ontario's 25 degrees Celsius summers to Nunavut's minus 40 degrees Celsius winters, supporting diverse ecosystems, including 20% of the world's polar bears, about 15,000, in Churchill, Manitoba. The Canadian Shield, a 4.8 billion-year-old rock formation, underpins 50% of the land, rich with minerals. Forests cover 347 million hectares, producing 12% of global timber per the Canadian Forest Service. From Vancouver's rainforest to Newfoundland's rugged cliffs, Canada's vastness offers solitude and wonder, with 47 national parks visited by 15 million people yearly. This land of maple leaves blends natural splendor with cultural richness, making it a global marvel. We've reached the end. Like and subscribe for more exciting content. Did you find this video fun? comment your favorite Canadian fact below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.